does that even mean, Bowers Game Corner?
Ahoy there, YouTube! Back again today for another episode of Games In, Games Out, where I talk about games that I'm going to be keeping, games that I'm going to be taking off my shelves, games that I'm going to be, doing various other different things with. So, today we're going to start off with Pirates of Gold Cove. This is a very light, simple, trick-taking game. It's from Mind's Eye Games. It has rules that should be better, and it feels fidgety when you first read the rules, but I really enjoy this trick-taking game. It's good enough that the kids I played with absolutely love this game and will request this game again. So I think it's a great family game and a great younger kids game, I'd say ages 7+, but at the same time I played it with my game night and they were still interested in the game. It's not one they're going to request, but still one that can fit as a lightweight filler game, a great family game. Definitely one that I'm going to keep for the time being. That is Pirates of Gold Cove. If you like trick-taking games, recommend checking that one out. Next, we have Sparkle Kitty from Breaking Games. This is for ages 6+. So I want to start off by saying this is for ages 6+, and I think this is a fantastic kids game and family game. Kids game, I think kids could play this by themselves at ages 8, 9, 10+, but the kids in my class absolutely stinking love this game. So essentially, you're just going to be saying all these silly phrases like Uber, Sparkle, boo-boo or something like that. And you're going to be making spells each and every turn with the goal of freeing a princess from a tower. At its core, it's really a light Uno-esque game where you're trying to get rid of all the cards in your hand so you can take out parts of your different tower. But I'll tell you what, I played it in a party-style setting with adults who, not all of them were gamers, and they had fun with this game. I played it with the kids in my class. They enjoyed it an awful lot. So for the time being, I'm going to be keeping it specifically for the kids in my class. But that being said, it really caught me off guard. Really enjoyed this one as well. That is Sparkle Kitty. You're going to have some good laughs with that one, as long as you realize that it is a family-weight game. A game that I'm not going to be keeping, but I'm actually going to be giving to my buddy Eric, is Dwarves Dig Delve Dive, which has really bad rules. How bad? The fact that I reviewed it, I'm not quite sure if I was playing the game correctly. Yeah, that's kind of a problem. They give you rule cards instead of a rule book, but this is a really simple game where you're going to roll dice, and then you're going to stack dice on top of these action cards. And whatever the lowest number is, that you can see, you're going to trigger those actions. So it's a dice placement game, which I like an awful lot and sounds like a great family weight game. And it would be a great family weight game, except that there's drinking rules in the game, which is really odd, where you have to empty your drink and stuff like that. And what I found out is I actually liked it better as a drinking game than as a family game. Because obviously I'm not going to have my kids finish their cups of milk or something, I guess. I don't know. It's a weird thing. It feels like it's an extra expansion, a drinking rules expansion, but it's actually in the base game. So in the end, I'm going to keep this and give it to my buddy. I'm actually going to be giving it to my buddy Eric, since I primarily go over there, drink, and play games with him, and I think he will enjoy it. But as a family weight game, I just wasn't feeling it nearly as much. Continuing onward with another game, this one's going off the shelf, is Brew Dice. I actually just reviewed this about a month or two ago. It's a very light beer and pretzels game where you're going to be rolling dice as fast as humanly possible in order to match cards that will have a picture of a snack, a coaster, and a beer. And this, I think, would be a great children's game, but the fact that it's about beer means that I can't bring it into my classroom. And, this is the kind of game that I know people are going to play at bars and whatnot, but honestly, if I'm going to be playing at a bar or in a drinking style setting, I would much rather play a game that has a little bit more meat on the bones than this one. So this one is going out of the collection. That is Brew Dice. I enjoyed it. It's just I don't ever see it getting played for me personally. Another game that is going to be going out of my collection, which will probably shock some people, is Fog of Love from, I don't even know who this one is from. This is the new Walmart exclusive, the first ever Walmart exclusive. I was really excited about this game. Let me start by saying that this was in my top 10 most anticipated games of 2017. I was so stoked for this game. It is romantic comedy as a board game, and unfortunately the game is just way too linear for me. So you get these characters and you have to try and accomplish these goals, and that really is your entire game, is accomplishing these goals. So you were on a very straight, narrow path, and I just wanted more out of this game. My wife enjoyed the game more than I did, but we played through all 4 of the different scenarios, and I was just not feeling it. That being said, I think this is going to be a game that a lot of people like. I wasn't feeling it, and so I'm going to be getting rid of it. But as the game gets more and more expansions, because they're going to be releasing more and more different micro expansions, I think it will only get better. But for the time being, I just don't have room on my shelves. Fog of Love, out, which is unfortunate because I really had high hopes for this game. Last but not least, we got two more. First, we got Word-A-Melon. This is from Bananagrams, a very light, simple spelling game in which actually the board looks like a watermelon. You're going to be flipping over various different letters. It's a simple spelling game with a memory aspect. I'm going to be keeping it pure and simple to work with my son when he starts spelling a little bit more and playing in my classroom. Eventually, when I get my classroom of my own, I would not be surprised if this was exclusively in my classroom. I think it's a great way for kids to learn to get better at spelling in a fun game-style setting, but that's about it. I really can't recommend it as anything else aside from family weight game for people learning how to spell and as a spelling educational tool. So it's definitely not going to be for everybody. Last but not least, probably my favorite game that I'm going to be talking about in this entire video, granted I've only shot 1/3 of the video, is Blank. And let me tell you, it is October 1st right now. Get on the Blank bandwagon if you're a family gamer. So Blank is a legacy, yes, legacy-style game where you are going to be playing an Uno-esque game. But here's the catch with this game, and it says it on the back. You're going to make this game whatever kind of game you want it to be. You can make it a party game, make it a trivia game, make it a family game. It also says you make it a strategy game. As I'll talk about in the review, I don't really think that's a viable option. But you can make it a family game, a trivia game, and a party game, and you can do this pretty seamlessly. So essentially, in this game, all the cards, for the most part, when you first start the game, are going to be blank. They will look like this. However, when you win a game, you will get to create either a new effect card, like this is your typical Uno card, it's an orange 6, or make a new rule card, because in this game there will be 3 rules that you have to follow throughout the game. And they might be trivia, where you have to name cities, or name cars, or name animals, or they might be silly party-style stuff, where you have to touch your nose as fast as you can, or slap a deck as fast as you can. Or they might be more gamery things, where you have to lose a turn, or discard cards, or do various different things. But here's the catch. Whoever wins the game gets to create that card, write with a pen or a marker, and physically put that card into the game and sign their name on it. And that is so cool. The kids in my class are absolutely gaga for this game right now. We've probably played it 20 times in the last week. That's how much they like it. It's easy to learn, it's easy to teach, and I've never seen the kids in my class more competitive than in this game because they actively want to write down their own rules. And I really... wow, I cannot say enough about this game. This is one of my favorite games of the year. The only reason I'm not giving it Bauer's Best Seal is because this is never going to hit a game night table. But as a family game, as a family get-together game, I think this is absolutely outstanding. If you are the kind of family who gets together and plays euchre or Uno or something like that, try to introduce this into your family. And I feel like this is the kind of thing that you could play for years and years to come with people absolutely loving putting new rules into the game. Ooh. All right, lots of games to talk about. Let's start up here at the top. Next, we got Life Adventures. Did not do it for me. It's mass market. It's storytelling, but I didn't like it. It was too disjointed. Not keeping that one. Next, we got Three Wishes, which is supposed to be a love letter killer from, who was it? I don't remember the name of it. Oh, Passport Games Studio. It's okay. You know, if there's a reason why you haven't heard of this or you don't remember it that much, is because it's just an okay micro game. Getting rid of that one. Next, we have Star Plus, which is not the most amazing game, but it works with negative numbers, and it's a children's, well, it's not a children's game, but it's a family game that works with negative numbers, and I feel like the kids that are starting to learn about negative numbers, this would be a great game to work with them, so I will be keeping this to play with the kids in my class when they're working with negative numbers, and also with my son when he gets slightly older. The next one we got is Harvest from Tasty Minstrel Games. This one I really enjoyed, and I'm going to be keeping. It's a very simple worker placement game. I gave it a good review, but I think other people are going to like it even better than I did. My big problem with the game was that I just wanted an extra round or two now that I had my engine running, but my wife really was smitten with this game, so this is one that will be going to the collection. Also, small box, which I'm always a big fan of. The next game we're keeping is this one right here, which is Pile Up Rush. This is a dexterity stacking game, but with a timed element. It's got like a chess timer kind of thing, where you're going to be flipping this sand timer, and you're going to be giving your opponent a certain amount of time, depending on how much time you take. I really dug it. It's not it's not an amazing game, but it's a fun game. I liked it best as a 1-versus-1 game, and the kids in my class really enjoyed it, so I will be keeping this one. This might actually be one that I keep in my classroom. Next, we have Stop Thief. Speaking of games that my classroom absolutely adored, this is from Restoration Games. The first game was an absolute train wreck, and I do have some complaints about the app, and the app could be better, but this is fantastic. Wholeheartedly recommend it. It's an amazing family game. It's in contention for one of my favorite family games of the year, even though I don't think it's going to win. Super Rhino Hero Battle is probably going to win that one, but still, great app when it works, and good game. Really enjoy that one. That is Stop Thief. Next, we have Edge of Humanity, which I'm not going to tip too far over. This is a really good deck builder. It creates this really good sense of dread. It's got some interesting mechanisms where you're going to have to, in order to build things, you actually have to physically get rid of your cards. Not like discard them to buy things, but you actually have to trash your cards in order to build things. I liked it. I liked it an awful lot. I think with expansions in the future, it's only going to get better. That is Edge of Humanity. Really enjoyed this deck builder. I think deck building is slowly becoming one of my favorite genres. I have a lot of games that are deck building, and I find myself not getting rid of too many games that are deck building, so really enjoy that. Next one is Island Hopper from Eagle Griffin Games. I am not going to be keeping this game. I do enjoy it. I think it's a really cool game. One person's going to be closing their eyes and then trying to drop these pieces on various different islands, and you're trying to negotiate to get them to drop things on your island, and you can also kind of BS them or bluff them to make them miss. It's a really interesting, quirky game, but with that being said, I just don't see it hitting the table too terribly often, and with games like that, I don't have room on my shelf for games like that. It's not, I feel like it's a better game night game. It could be a family game if you have older kids, and I don't have older kids. So, Island Hopper, I enjoy the game, I recommend the game, but one that I will not be keeping. Another game that I will not be keeping, that I also enjoy and recommend, as long as you know it's an abstract strategy game at its core, is Kaiju Crust from Fireside Games. I like this game. I think it's a good abstract strategy game, but you have to go into the game knowing that it's abstract strategy. It's about monsters smashing the cities, but really it's just about moving your pieces and collecting various different tiles that will give you a certain amount of points. It had a good degree of variability, and if you like abstract strategy games, especially two-player abstract strategy games, this is definitely one I can recommend checking out, but for me personally, abstract just doesn't hit the table too terribly often. Another game going out of the collection is The King is Dead. I enjoyed this game, but I had to make room for another game from Osprey Games, which was London, which will be going into my collection. The Martin Wallace Classic, which I never had the opportunity to play before. It is a mean, stinking game. Like, the game is mean to you. You have to deal with all this poverty, and it's just... But I really enjoyed the game. It's a lightweight Euro game. It's a medium-weight Euro game. It takes about 60 to 90 minutes to play, I do believe. Really, really enjoyed this one. Glad to see it back in print. That is London, and that's going to be knocking The King is Dead out of my collection. Next we have Cannon Buster. This one bored me. It bored the kids I played it with. It bored my game night. It's a very simple game. We're going to get a handful of cards. You're going to keep some of those cards. It's a kind of an area majority game where you're trying to have the most of certain numbers of cards in order to get their special abilities, but the special abilities were a little bit boring, and the game itself was just boring. Definitely one I will not be keeping. One game going out of my collection that I actually really enjoyed was Civilizations. I really dug this game. It just doesn't hit the table too terribly often. Also, it has, it's 2 to 5 players. I don't know. I'm starting to be a little bit more choosy. I mean, I got a lot of games from Gen Con, I got a lot of games from Essen, and I have to start getting rid of games that aren't getting played. And despite the fact I do like this game, and I gave it a good recommendation, and I really enjoy the game, it's just not getting played. Much like this game right here, Attack on Titan: The Last Stand. I just reviewed this a couple months ago. I really liked it. It's a one versus all game where one person takes on the Titan and everybody else is having to climb the Titan and try and destroy them and rolling dice. And it's a 3-dimensional game. It's got like this big Titan that's probably like 18 inches tall. And it's really stinking cool. It's just not getting played, and I don't see it getting played. It's just a little bit too light. Like, if I have people over and they want one versus all, I'm probably going to grab something else. I'm not going to be grabbing this one, even though I still really like this game. This one, I have a feeling, this is one of those games where when I get rid of it, one of these days I'm going to be like, man, I kind of wish I wouldn't get rid of that game. I have a feeling about this game. Last but not least, we have Oath of the Brotherhood, The Chosen. I actually just shot the review for this one today, and man, I was torn on this game. This rule booklet is garbage. It's terrible. There's graphic design issues. In fact, if you want to see me have a quasi-mental breakdown, check out my review of this one, because I was really pretty upset about the production quality of this when it comes to the rule booklet and the fact, oh my gosh, I gotta mention it even though it's not the topic. There's cards in this game, and on the bottom of the cards is flavor text, useless flavor text. But on some other cards that are the exact same type of cards, there's useful information on the bottom of those cards in the same font as the flavor text. And it's like, why would you make useful information the same location in the same font as useless flavor text on... Oh, gosh. It's a really good game, though. It's a really great worker placement game with some absolutely fantastic mechanisms. It's a step-up game. I don't think it's like a Lords of Waterdeep. I think it's a small step up from that. But I really stinking like this game. But the problem is, every time you have to go back to that rule booklet, it's going to frustrate the living heck out of me, and I just don't have time to play this game as much as I would like it to. So Oath of the Brotherhood, great game, but man, it needed a better rule booklet. But this has been another segment of Games In, Games Out. All right, back to some more games we're going to be keeping / getting rid of. First and foremost, we have Make and Break from Moody Macaw. This is a game about putting couples together. It's a very light, simple game. Gay couples, straight couples, bi couples, and it's just a bad game, period. It's long, it's repetitive, it's dull. The cards, what you do in the game is just completely boring. Despite the fact the theme is something that's in an interesting theme, but component-wise also there's like this sticker on the back of the box which you can't peel off or else it leaves like all that gooby gone residue. And there's this powder on the cards that somebody told me might be mildew or dust from the factory that was noticeably distracting. Like people did not want to play the game because of the residue on the cards. Just no, gameplay-wise, component-wise, not this game. Next, we have Monsters and Maidens from GameSloot. This is a very light, simple push-your-luck die-rolling game. I didn't like it because the press-your-luck aspect of the game felt like there was a safety net, and that's not how I like my press-my-luck. Also, there's other better press-your-luck games that I like a lot better than this one. Also, no player interaction whatsoever, so that one's out of the collection. Next, Samurai Gardner from Osprey Games. Unfortunately, this one was not one I was going to be keeping, and it's a hard recommendation. It tries to do slapjack with like a puzzly strategy game. So essentially there's going to be some cards out here, and you're going to be slapping the card you want as fast as humanly possible, and if you don't get that card, then you have to completely pick a different card. But here's the problem. The slapjack aspect of the game we found canceled out the strategy aspect of the game, and it just, I don't know. It was weird. It's a weird combination, and it just did not do it for me. One that I did not like, and I'm not going to be keeping. Samurai Gardner, it's okay, but not better. Next, we have Star Cartel, also from Osprey Games. One that I did like. I enjoyed it. I think it's a good, okay family game. It is essentially my first stock market manipulation game where you're going to be taking cards from this row out here, and then you're going to be putting them into your spaceship, and however many of specific colors you have in your spaceship is either going to lower or raise the price of the stock market at the end of the game. Whichever goods you've smuggled, you'll get points for that based on where the stock market is. It's interesting, and I liked it as a family game. However, being a reviewer, I have so many other family weight games that I would rather play than this one, that being an okay or good family weight game is not going to cut it anymore. So Star Cartel, despite the fact I did enjoy the game and I would play it again, and I would play it with my kids, the kids in my class liked it, is one that I'm not going to be keeping just because I don't want to get rid of another game that I think is better than this game. Next, we have Spoil Me Not from Korea Board Games. This is a really weird, light, filler weight game in which you are going to be playing out a card to the center of the table, then everyone's going to take somebody else's card, and then it's a really mean game. It's really light, really filler. The theme doesn't come across at all, but I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good, lightweight filler game. It goes up to 6 players. It's going to stay on my shelf for the time being. I'll see if it gets played again. I will say, though, I don't see this one being in my collection 2 years from now, unless people really tend to like it. So I'm excited to see what the legs are like on this game. A game that will be on my shelf for a very long time is Toppato from Korea Board Games, same company. This is a children/family game in which you are going to be stacking up these really thick, chunky, wooden, think Haba pieces. These ones actually might be nicer than Haba pieces. And you're trying to complete various different cards that will have, some of the characters in different positions or doing on different big tops. Really liked it a lot. My son liked it. My wife liked it. The kids in my class liked it a lot. Very fantastic family/children children game. That is Toppato from Korea Board Games. Definitely check this one out if you get the opportunity to, if you have younger kids. Next, a game that I'm going to be getting rid of is King Domino. I'm actually just going to be getting rid of the box. I'm going to be putting all the stuff in this box into the Queen Domino box, which, by the way, pet peeve, how about you actually make the box and hold everything from King Domino, since a lot of people are going to have both of them. But I digress. Getting rid of King Domino's box, putting everything into Queen Domino, because Queen Domino is fantastic. Oh my gosh, I love this game. If you like King Domino, but you wanted a little bit more strategy, a little bit more gameriness, a little bit more to do, look no further than Queen Domino. Really dig this one. I'm excited in the future when they come out with more tiles, a little bit more extra meat on the bones. Really like this game. That's Queen Domino from Blue Orange Games. Kicking out King Domino, kind of. Last but not least, we have Battlefold, which is from Happy Bow Bob Games. 2 to 4 players. I do not recommend it as a 2-player game. Watch my review if you want to know why. But essentially, you have to be on very even you have to be very even skill-wise folding, because this is a folding battle game where you are going to take cloths and you are going to be folding those cloths, trying to make various different images pop up. And those images that you get popped up are going to be your actions you can take on your turn. You're going to be moving your little piece around this little board, trying to kill everyone else. And when you kill them, they turn into ghosts, and as ghosts, they try to get their soul back by stealing your soul. Very enjoyable at 3 and 4 players. Light family weight game. I also played it on my game night, and they liked it a lot as well. I'm excited for this game. I really hope they come out with more characters, maybe a larger board, make it up to 6 players. I think would be really good. Really enjoy this one, despite the fact I do worry a little bit about some balancing issues, especially with the different characters and when you're playing 2 players. But with a game this size going into the collection, that means I have to get rid of one, and the one I'm getting rid of is Hide, Hidden Identity Dice Espionage from Dive Dice, and also from Mayday Games. Really enjoyed this one. I really did. I reviewed it, I think, about 2 years ago, and I liked it an awful lot, but the main reason why I'm getting rid of it is the fact that it's one of those games that when you go back to it, you can't just teach it. It's one where you have to go into the rules and look up all the rules each and every time you teach it, and I don't like having games like that in my collection. My personal opinion, with how many games I have, I want a game that I'm either going to know how to play it already, I'm going to remember how the game's played for the most part, maybe it's got a quick reference or something like that, or something that's going to get played so consistently that I will not learn the rules. So Hidden Identity Dice Espionage, a game I like. I think it's a good game. I think it's a great game, but still one that's going out of my collection just because it does not get played.